So let's start peeling back some of these layers of Christianity, right? I want to bring out this book. Put a picture of the book on the screen so everybody can know what we coming out of. All right. All right, so this is the book, How to Make a Negro Christian. Not any kind of Christian, but a Negro Christian, all right? All right, so let's bring out the first page, all right? I really want to get into this book if I get the time. Give me number 111. Give me with that when you get in that, give me a script real quick. Give me Sirach chapter 11 verse 3.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 3.
Come on.
The bee is little among such as fly.
So the Bible says a bee is little among all the things that fly, right? Read.
But her fruit is the chief of sweet things.
So all that fly, right, is in reference to all these doctrines that's out here, right? But the bee, which is little, which is us, all right, has a bigger reward. But we're viewed as small amongst all that fly. That makes sense? All right, so, all right, read that first page with the picture of this guy right here. I like this because like the book Willie Lynch, right? A lot of people like to say that Willie Lynch was fictional. He didn't exist. You understand? Things like that. We know that that's a lie. You understand what I'm saying? But I like this first page we about to read for that reason. Read that. Pull it back up.
The life of Reverend Dr. Charles Colcock Jones. While characters of some influential works have been proven to possibly be fictional.
You see that? Possibly be fictional, because I heard that about Willie Lynch several times. All right? Go ahead.
I have gone through great lengths to make sure Dr. Jones actually lived.
So this man actually lived. He did his research. He did his homework to see if he was actually somebody that existed. Go ahead.
Below is information regarding his actual life, family, lineage, the sources they came from, and then we will move into the reprinting in its entirety of the religious instruction of the Negro, the sermon.
All right, go ahead to the next page. All right. That should be page 15. All right, read up there, starting where the orange mark is.
In the early decades of the 19th century.
So this is the early 1800s. Read.
Christianity had made little or no inroads among.
That's going into no progress, no inroads.
Among blacks for fear that they might take literally such narratives as the Exodus.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Read that last part again. That they what?
That they might take literally such narratives as the Exodus.
So it says among blacks for fear that they might take literally such narratives as the Exodus. So they was in fear that our people will start seeing themselves in the scriptures. That's what that's talking about. You understand? That's what that's talking about. And guess what? That would bring forth that spirit of rebellion or revolution. You understand? Read on.
But as this crisis of fear.
This what?
Crisis of fear.
So guess what? To start a revolution, you have to unite. You understand what I'm saying? You have to unite, and you want to be separate. Right. They fear that. They always have been fearing that. So guess what? There's a saying, don't let them see you sweat. Don't think they ain't scared right now. They scared. They scared to death because we got understanding coming out beyond measure. You understand? It's growing and it's growing. We steadily growing as a nation. All right, read.
But as this crisis of fear spread across the South.
It spread across the South. Go ahead.
Suddenly, rather impressive efforts were made to address the needs of the souls of black folk.
Really the needs of white folks, all right? What they think they needed to keep them safe. Read.
These were well-organized evangelistic endeavors, particularly in those areas with large plantations.
Big population of Negroes. Go ahead.
Congregations stepped up their appeals and refined their approaches to African Americans.
So they refined their approaches toward the Israelites, all right? Because you so-called African Americans in America, you are from the tribe of Judah. their main aim are towards you, because the Lord say, let his voice be heard in Judah. I know I'm chopping it up. I'm debauchulating it. Raise the tribes of Judah first, right? Go ahead, read.
Preachers and planners alike urged them to fill the galleries and special seating that was set aside for these honored guests.
Go ahead.
Some owners were even motivated to build praise houses
Churches, read.
on their land.
Come on.
And recruited black preachers to proclaim the Lord's name.
Read.
As long as, of course, a white foreman was present to monitor things so that they did not get out of hand.
So stop. So they wanted a white foreman there, right, to make sure things did get out of hand, to make sure they didn't take what? Literally such narratives as the Exodus. That's the out of hand part that they didn't want to happen. They didn't want them to see themselves in the Bible. You know what? Exodus, the narrative of Exodus just ain't in the book of Exodus. Get Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7. They didn't want them to read this because when they didn't want them to know nothing about the Exodus of Egypt. You understand? The first 4 books of Moses. They didn't want them reading for themselves. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 7.
Read it out.
And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
That ain't what I want. I want 7 and 6.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6.
Come on.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
That's what the white man did not want the slaves to read. You understand? They wanted to keep them what? Docile. All right. Subordinate. You understand? Submissive, shiftless.
Right. Let me get another script. Get Exodus 19 and 6. Another one they ain't want the slaves to read.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
See, they ain't want us to read that we supposed to be a kingdom of priests, that we supposed to be priest-like. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't want us to hear that. Go ahead.
Right. So go ahead back to the book.
Hey, officer, real quick. Let me just land back on what's being brought out. Because during this time period, I'm looking at the dates. It's this during the 1800s, and it's like 1830. Remember, during this time, this was just when Gabriel Prosser was put to death, who led a slave rebellion, and then you had Nat Turner being risen up at this time because they didn't want the slaves to get the inspiration. Because Exodus is a story about liberation from slavery. They didn't want them to get that in their head to where we ain't supposed to be under dominion of any man, but following God. They didn't want us to think they had that thought, so they was trying to kill those thoughts, and they used the black church to do it. But they specifically didn't want men like Nat Turner to rise up. But the Lord did his magic anyway, and he still ended up rising up at that time. But that's the time period of what this is all being written and going down during the time of Gabriel Prosser and Nat Turner. Y'all should look them up. Revolutionary black man that tried to free our people from slavery.
All praises. That's good information right there. That's good stuff. All right, let's go back to the book real quick. It's getting late. We're going to end in a second. Go ahead.
Large slaveholders, like the Reverend Charles Colcock Jones, worked to comprise a Christian primer for slaves to instill teachings that were designed as a response to the importance of revolution.
For the warning signs of revolution. Go ahead.
And to serve as preventative measures to any insurrection.
So that goes right into what you were speaking about, all right? So now get number 112. Number 112. That would be page, 3. So we're going backwards in the book. Just wanted to hit some of these things real quick because this author is spot on. Read that underlined part.
Christianity as a central cultural institution has not empowered the black community in the same ways it has empowered the white community.
That's facts right there, all right? When you look at our people, all right, we're not empowered. You understand? We got ghettos, we got vacant housing, we got single parent household, we got poverty, we got poor education. You know what I'm saying? Even the mindset of our people is still subordinate to the white man. Read.
or as it has the other alien Christian communities,
The other heathens, read.
or in ways other communities are empowered by their own religious institutions.
So they can go into your Arabs and things like that. Read.
As a matter of fact, Christianity, as it is practiced in the African American community, has probably done as much to disempower that community than to empower it.
And that's facts right there.
Right. What he's saying that the Christianity disarmed us.
Right.
It disarmed us. You understand? They brought us, they gathered us all up, set us in front of the Bible, but didn't teach us how to read it.
Right.
They taught us how to sing songs. That's it.
Right. The next page gonna go into what you just spoke of. Go ahead, officer.
That was like Malcolm X. He said, "Who taught you to hate yourself?" A lot of people don't understand. That's why Malcolm X strayed from the Bible, because that's what he understood. Christianity disarmed us. So that's like going into the white images. You see the movie? He was like Jesus in the movie that he played, and he seen what the preacher was teaching the prisoner, and that's what he understood. It was disempowering them.
And that preacher in that prison knew exactly what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? The way he responded and everything to Malcolm X questioning him, he knew exactly why he was in the prison to do it. Right. So don't let these white folks think that they don't know what they're doing. All of these pastors know exactly what they're doing to our people, teaching them Christianity.
And make no mistake about it. It's not the Bible. Nothing's wrong with the Bible. Matter of fact, give me Psalms real quick. 19:7. All right. There's nothing wrong with the Bible. It's the things of the Bible we've been taught. That's why Malcolm X said, was Jesus white or black? Because he knew what the scripture said. You understand? But the white man had a white image of Jesus up on the wall behind him. So it's not the book. Don't lose faith in the book. Just leave Christianity. Read what you got.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. Read it out. The law of the Lord is perfect.
So the law of God excels all understanding. Read.
Converting the soul.
It what?
Converting the soul.
The laws of God will convert your soul, which means make you perfect. Read.
The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
Read verse 11.
Verse 11. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned.
By them, by God's laws, you can be warned, all right, from the danger to come. Read.
And in keeping of them, there is great reward.
That's where your great reward comes in, and not paying 10% of your money. Understand? Go ahead, officer.
Play that clip. They put it in there. Yeah, play it in there. Play it since we talking about it. Some heavy stuff right there.
And the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. But I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. St. John 10, verse 10. Are there any questions?
Hey, watch it, baby. This cat is heavy on religion.
Hey, pause it.
I can see this has become a struggle between...
Hey. When he raised his hand, remind me, you see the videos on YouTube where they're talking about Israelite going to a church. The pastor's looking like, oh man, he asked no question. They supposed to study to give an answer.
Right.
Hey, it say, this remind me of the Bible. It say, we wrestle spiritual wickedness in high places. Now the Lord was showing us, he said, thy seed against her seed. It was talking about doctrine. Because they pushing this, and what we just read out the book, it said they didn't want revolutionary. But guess what? That was Malcolm X. He was a revolutionary, and he spoke against their agenda or their doctrine. So the Lord was telling us in the last days, it's going to be a spiritual meaning over doctrine. That's it.
Like it said in Sirach, good is set against evil, all right? The truth against Christianity, because understand, Christianity is Satan's doctrine on earth. You might not understand it yet, but stick around.
Then it's going to turn physical. That's what happened with Christ. He was back and forth with the scribes and Pharisees. It was a spiritual war, and then it turned physical. It's going to be the same way in this time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Finish the clip.
Hey, watch it, baby.
Start it over. We got to start it over. We got to get all of this.
And the thief
Black folks need
cometh
vision.
not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. But I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. St. John 10, verse 10. Are there any questions?
You watch it, baby. This cat is heavy on religion.
I can see this has become a struggle between good and evil. Satan has a question.
Yes, sir, Chaplain Gill, but since neither one of us are God, I don't think either one of us are in any position to say who's good and who's evil.
Why don't you just ask your question?
We were discussing the disciples. What color were they?
Well, I don't think we know that for certain.
But they were Hebrews, were they not?
That's right.
As was Jesus. Jesus was also a Hebrew.
Why don't you just ask your question?
What color were the original Hebrews?
I have told you that we don't know that for certain.
Then you can't believe for certain that Jesus was white.
Just a moment, God is white. Isn't it obvious?
Well, that is obvious, but we don't know if it's obvious that God is white. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Jesus did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the images of Jesus that are on prison walls and churches throughout the world are not historically correct, because history teaches us that Jesus was born in a region where the people had color. There's proof in the very Bible that you ask us to read in Revelations, 1st chapter, verse 14 and 15, that Jesus had hair like wool and feet the color of brass.
Just what are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm proving to you that Jesus was not, and I might quote one of our Indian brothers, he was not a paleface.
All right, stop it. Now, we weren't worried about none of the thing he was talking about Elijah Muhammad, but he said that the Bible says that Christ was not, the Bible says that Christ is a black man, not white. All right?
That was good. That was real good right there. He even threw our Indian brothers in there. Said he's not a pale face.
Hey,
that was heavy. That was heavy scene right there.
Hey, officer, but nowadays, you know, because what you going over is heavy. You know what I'm saying? Going into how they trying to gear the minds of the Christian away from, you know what I'm saying, any type of black messiah, any type of liberation for the people. So whenever leaders like Malcolm X rise up, now they try to defame them. And now it's a popular thing on the earth that's being taught. And I'm hearing this from the youth now. The younger men and women coming up. Now they saying, because I was having a conversation with some young men about Malcolm X and about black leaders. And he was like, you talking about the dude that was a drug addict? He was talking about Malcolm X. And then someone about Martin Luther King, he brought up him being he said, he's an adulterer. He's an adulterer. Yeah. And I'm like, and then he was like, they didn't die for black people. And I'm like,
They learned that that's how the white man has taught them to respond.
That's the point.
Elevate all of the what you call it, all the negative things that they did when they in their youth.
Right, but you know what I'm saying? Like, well, where is this coming from? You see how these men live and they die for their people, but you know, but because of the lack of education, what you was going to Isaiah 3 with the women being over these young men, you know what I'm saying? And the woman is being nourished by who? The woman is being nourished by America, Babylon. So where is the woman getting her education from? The white man. So what the children being educated by the white man? So all these things that we reading about in this book about the Negro Christian, the black Christian, that's the mind of our people today. So when it comes to when they see true revolutionaries, they hate them. They despise them. They look for flaws in them. Like, no, these was revolutionary men.
Right. Hey, what it is as long as we was indoctrinated with "I have a dream," you know, and things like that, it was okay. We was taught to exalt, because that's all they taught us with Black History Month and all of that. As long as we, you know, it was "I have a dream." But now you got quotes like coming out like, "I feel like I integrated my people into a burning house." When these things start coming out, now the Negro being programmed to bring up all the negative things that, you know, our leaders. You
right.
know
We never heard nothing negative about George Washington.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Abraham Lincoln. We never, not from them. We ain't find out till I ain't find out till I was in my 30s that Washington had slaves.
Right.
You understand that type? You never heard them speak negative about their own, but they've trained us to find flaws in our own people and magnify them when we talking about revolution. Go ahead.
That's hot fire right there. Get page 71. Number 112. No, it ain't 112. It's 113. 113. Yeah, that's it right there. Start at the benefits of the religion instruction.
The benefits of the religious instruction of the Negroes is as follows. There will be a better understanding of the mutual relations of master and servant.
So this is going into the master and servant mindset. Jump down to the underlined part where it says below is a key.
Below is a key lesson that unfortunately Caucasoids learned early on.
He called them Caucasoids. Okay, so this is the research. He said below is a key lesson. Unfortunately, Caucasoids learned. Unfortunately, white people learn early on. Read.
Obedience will never be felt and performed to the extent that we desire it, unless we can bottom it on religious principles.
So unless we can build a religious foundation. Read. Oh, 26. It says 26 emphasis added. Let's jump down to the bottom of the page. This is what it's talking about. Read that. It will be noticed.
It will be noticed that obedience is inculcated as a Christian duty.
So it says obedience is, what's that word mean? Any second time? Yeah, go ahead. Read.
Inculated. It says to instill an attitude, idea, or habit by persistent instruction. Okay. So it says the failures of the churches to inculcate a sense of moral responsibility, teach someone an attitude, idea, or habit by persistent instruction.
Right, it's going in the doctrine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So now, read it again. Read it again.
I'll read. It says, it will be noticed that obedience is inculcated as a Christian duty, binding on the servants, and thus the authority of masters is supported by considerations drawn from eternity.
So binding on the servants, and thus the authority of masters is supported by the consideration drawn from eternities. All right, so now that's what that's going into. Now,
officer, one of the synonyms to that inculcate is indoctrinate. That's one of the synonyms.
You see that? So indoctrinate. So we're finna read the indoctrination. Read if we
read it a slightly different way.
Stop. Read that again.
If we read it a slightly different way.
So it's a slightly different way, the right way? No, that's not the right way. That's the same thing that happened in the garden. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing that happened in the Garden of Eden.
That's that exquisite subtlety, ain't
That's
it?
the serpent in the church house.
Man.
You understand? If you shall not surely die, but God shall know you. In that day you shall know good and evil. But she eventually died. You understand? And she did know good and evil. You understand? That's the slightly different way. That's the devil. That's how he worked. Read that part again. This is what the white man, all right, this is the counsel that he took to control Negroes and how he still controls Negroes today. Read.
If we read it a slightly different way to get a Negro to believe or follow something, tie it to Christianity or tell them Jesus endorses it.
You see that? Read.
These putrid tricks,
these vile tricks,
still work and are used against us today.
To this day. To this day. So now, they was talking about, what's that? Is it Colossians 3:18? Master, obey your servant. Let's get that real quick. Let's bring out some edification on that. Some understanding. Because you know what? A lot of brothers and sisters, they don't regard the Bible based on this history.
Right. Hold up. Before you get there, get Isaiah 29:13. This is going exactly with what the officer bringing out. Read that. Isaiah 29:13.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
The men that taught our people the Bible, the understanding, because we just read in that book, it said, if we read it to them a slightly different way, that's a different understanding. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So our people have not been taught correctly, right? And I'm also finna go into why. All right. Go into one of those understandings that's read a slightly different way.
Slightly different, all right? Especially when you don't know how to read, when you illiterate, all right? Get Colossians chapter 3 and verse 22.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 22. Servants, obey in all things your masters.
Hold on. It's a key point about this. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Key point. Okay. Anyway, read that again.
Colossians 3, verse 22. Servants, obey in all things your masters.
So what Christianity has not taught us is that the Israelites had their own people working for them. All right? And it's telling you, servants, obey in all things your masters. Why? Give me Sirach 19, verse 21 real quick.
Hey, officer, you know what that slightly different way is?
What?
The NIV.
Right.
Yep. All of that. That's
right.
because in the NIV it say slaves. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. And look, I just want to say this example real quick. Deuteronomy 28 in the NIV, it says, Deuteronomy say, you shall be sold unto your enemies. In the NIV, it say you shall offer yourselves to be slaves, and no man shall buy you. So this is how they did that with these new versions of the Bible. That's
After
crazy.
they taught us how to read, they gave us a different version of the Bible.
That slightly different way.
And I heard that NIV came out right when the truth started coming from the tribe of Judah. I wish. All right. And you from the tribe of Ephraim, right? you fall on hard times, right? You fall on hard times. All right. I give you Benjamin. You got the long
y'all definitely
dreadlocks.
Northern Kingdom down that way.
Okay. You come, I let you, you know what I'm saying? I get you back on your feet. Come stay with me. You know what I'm saying? All I want you to do, you know what I'm saying, milk my cows for me, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. You know what I'm saying? Employment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna help you get on your feet. But this is what happens. Read what you got.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 21. Read out. If a servant says to his master, I will not do as it pleaseth thee, though afterward he do it, he angereth him that nourisheth him.
Read it again. Something didn't sound right in that. Go ahead.
If a servant say to his master.
If a servant say to his master, if my brother say to me who took him in out of the kindness of my heart, go ahead.
I will not do as it pleaseth thee.
He fell on hard times, and I'm trying to help him out. But he say, I ain't doing what you asking me to do. In your house, nigga. Read.
Though afterward he do it.
So even though afterwards he do it,
he angereth him that nourisheth him.
I'm the one that's nourishing him. So I'm supposed to be angry. Right. That's why it say, servants, obey your masters. You understand?
Right.
So now, go to Deuteronomy, all right? Because the New Testament wasn't written when the apostles and everything was walking the earth. Get Deuteronomy. We're coming back to Colossians, chapter 15 and verse, I think it's 9. Yeah, get verse 9, read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 9. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the seventh year, the year of a release, is at hand. And thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him not. And he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be sin unto thee.
Read.
Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him.
Okay, verse 11 is what I want. All right, I'm gonna use verse 9, but right now, as far as the servant goes, this is what I want. Read what you got.
Verse 11, for the poor shall never cease out of the land.
So it's going to be people of our nations that's going to fall on hard times. Read.
Therefore, I command thee, saying,
this is a commandment from God. Read.
Thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land.
Read.
And if thy brother.
Oh, thy what?
Thy brother. an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee.
That was the law toward our brethren or our sisters that was servants unto us when they fell on hard times. Right. That's what it's talking about in Colossians chapter 3, verse 22. Now, hold Deuteronomy and go back to Colossians 4:1.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 4, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Masters, give unto your servants that which is just and equal.
Okay, so now, if that still holds, if Deuteronomy, Colossians 3 and 22 holds true in slavery with them in dominion, why wasn't the masters good and equal towards us? I'll wait.
Right.
You understand? That shows you that's not what that's talking about. That's talking about what? Deuteronomy. Go back to it. Masters, give unto your servants that which is good, is just and equal. All right? That's verse 9 right there. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, verse 9. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart.
That's the master.
Saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand.
The 7th year of release is at hand.
And thine eye be evil against thy poor brother.
The servant. Read.
And thou givest him not. And he cry unto the Lord against thee. And it be sin unto thee.
You see that? So that's what that's talking about. So God is Paul and them is trying to set order amongst the people. You understand how you're supposed to conduct yourself. All right. It's even clearer when you read. Go back to Colossians chapter 3, verse 18. All these principles is set up even in the marriage. All right.
This the book. You want Colossians 3 and 18?
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 18. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as it is fit in the Lord.
You see that? So that's just going into order. All right. Any servant is supposed to obey his master. All right. In these precepts, it's talking about people that's within the Israelite nation. Right. You understand? So the Christian church is a lie. All right, we're going to bring out the truth of the Bible. There's nothing wrong with the Bible, but everything is wrong with Christianity. That's right. Anybody got anything on that?
I keep reading down on that. Go ahead. Just start at verse 18. Just read on down.
Verse 18. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as it is fit in the Lord.
So wives supposed to submit to the husband. Read on.
Husbands, love your wives.
Read.
And be not bitter against them.
Read on.
Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord.
So the husband is in charge. The man is in charge. The woman serves him. The children obey the parents. Go ahead.
Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged.
Read.
Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh.
You see that? It's all in context. That's one thing the Christian church don't do. They don't read things in context. Right. They take things out of context. Right. They read it a slightly different way, like the book that you brought out. Go ahead, officer.
It said according to the flesh. That's going into your brother. Your flesh is your brother. Read the law in Exodus 25 real quick. I know it's redundant, but a lot of times
they gotta hear it over.
Yeah. Because a lot of time we do hear this a lot on us. That's what Malcolm X, Muslims say that all the time. Anybody who say the Bible is wrote by the white man, guess what? They go to this scripture, Colossians. They say, servants, be obedient to your master. Mm-hmm. And then you send it in that Turner. And then that Turner end up flipping the switch on them. But read this. Verse 39. Come on. 39. This is going into servants, obey your master. Who is the master and who is the servant? What we read, it said according to the flesh. Here go the law. Read.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 25, verse 39. Of a talent of pure...
Leviticus 25. Leviticus 25 and 39. Who's the servant? Who's the master? According to the flesh. Christians read this all the time. Here go the precept. Come on.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 39. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor...
Stop. That's going into according to the flesh. If thy brother, that's what it's saying, the flesh. Read.
And be sold unto thee.
Now you his master. He sold unto you. Who's the master? The brother. Who's the servant? Thy brother. Read.
Thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant,
As a heathen. Read.
but as an hired servant.
Because he's a higher servant. You're the master and he's the higher servant.
Right
Servant,
there.
obey your masters.
Right there it said, thou shalt not compel him, meaning you ain't forcing him to do this.
Right. That's because that's what Israel was trying to do. We was trying to treat them like they was the other nations. Right. But the Lord, when Christ came, he said, don't do that in his teachings. Don't treat them like Edomites and Moabites. But go ahead, read. Like Gentiles. You remember, like Gentiles. Read.
Leviticus 25 verse 40. But as an hired servant and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee.
Jubilee, the 7th year. That's when the Lord redeemed us. Well, we free, but that's it.
Hey, that's where the term indentured servant come from, right? Because when you look up that term, that's what it was, 7 years. When you know what I'm saying, that's where Esau got it from. Right here. That's where the term indentured servant come from. You serve for 7 years and then you work your way, you know what I'm saying? You just work a debt off or whatever the case may be. That's all it is.
Right. Keep reading that real quick. Read verse 41.
Verse 41. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family. And unto the possession of his fathers shall he return.
So he's working for you. So he goes free. But read this part right here.
For they are my servants.
Read it again.
For they are my servants.
Because they're God's servants, not yours. Go ahead.
Which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen.
And that was a law that was given to our people. And we can't treat our people wrong. You understand what I'm saying? But what has Christianity done us today? They got us hating each other. Go ahead.
Hey, no, and that was the point I was wanting to touch on. With all this being read and all these scriptures that's been coming out in the history behind it, the Christian church has conditioned the mind of the Negro to hate their own people and to exalt the white man. You know
they mad we reading this, understand. They mad that it's black people giving it to them right now.
Hey, it is
giving
what
a
it
proper
is.
understanding. They hate it. They hate it because we black and we saying it.
Right, because all Christ, all the scriptures was teaching us is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. It was saying don't do your brother wrong, like Officer Isaiah brought out. It said according to obey your masters according to the flesh.
The Christian hates you saying this right now. Don't do your brother wrong. Nah, you ain't supposed to say that. You're an Israelite.
Right.
Hey, can you pull up this in the I just posted something in the chat. Pull that up real quick. Because this gonna further.
Is this real quick?
Yeah. Hey, you ain't did that yet? You ain't playing games. Hold on.
Look at this guy. What you doing, man? You subscribed yet? Subscribe right now. Do it.
This gonna further prove, but this just back up the point. This gonna further prove what the Bible's saying. You understand? But watch this. Read. It's saying indentured servitude is a form of labor in which a person is contracted to work without salary for a specific number of years. The contract called an indenture may be entered voluntarily, meaning you're not compelling them for perpetual eventual compensation or debt repayment, or maybe impose. It ain't that part. But look, that's the point. So it don't mean slave. That's the point. That's all it's saying. It's a servant paying off a debt. That's it.
That's why they changed the word in them newer versions to slave instead of servant.
So in that example, right, the master pays off his debt for him, right? And he comes and works. He trades off his labor or his skill to his brother for a certain amount of time.
And that's what we just read in the Bible, right there.
Like what the Negro will do today, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what in turns that master, which is your brother, he was helping you out.
Right.
So it's saying, hey, brother.
Open his hand wide unto you.
Right. So he helping you out. So he said, the scripture saying, don't be a nigga and not obey the man that's helping you out, which black people do. You know what I'm saying? You a brother have a company. You know what I'm saying? You falling on hard times. He said, hey, I'll give you a job. And then the Negro get on the job and disrespect that brother and do whatever the hell he wants to. But when he work for the white man, he show him the utmost respect.
Right.
Why? Because of the indoctrination.
Same thing on little trivial stuff. You need, let me borrow your lawnmower. Mine went down. They get mad at you because you ask them back. Ask for it back.
Right.
I got to cut my grass with it. I can't find it. They don't want to give you your stuff back.
Who raised you?
Hey,
Right. Your string missing.
yeah, that's crazy. I think that's why we definitely it's so important for us to come out of the Christian church. I'm sitting here looking at this slide that was brought out earlier in that book. It says that page 3, it says, as a matter of fact, Christianity, as it is practiced in the African American community, has probably done as much to disempower the community than to empower the community. With scriptures like that, you know, get that in Baruch chapter 3 and verse 28 real quick. This is why we got to leave from out of that Christian church right here, because the Christian church has destroyed our community. It has done nothing for us. It says you're going to know them by their fruits. Christian church don't have no fruits because they are a dead tree. Watch this. Read what you got.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 28.
Uh-huh.
But they were destroyed because they had no wisdom.
But so in all the history of the Israelites, even starting from the sons of God, when our people went off from the wisdom, which is the laws of God, we were destroyed. And we still destroyed today because we lack wisdom. There's no wisdom in Christianity. Read on.
And perish through their own foolishness.
Now, it's in our own foolishness to continue to follow in Christianity, in Christian thoughts, right? Now, go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9 real quick. Because in their book, they said it's important for them to keep us in Christianity, even though it has did a disservice to our community. And it's one thing that J. Edgar Hoover said. He said the worst threat to the security of the United States of America is black unity. And they know we'll never get there in the Christian church, but we will get there with this. Read verse 18.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 18. Wisdom is better than weapons of war.
It is what?
Better than weapons of war.
So he didn't say that the Taliban was America's greatest threat. He didn't say China was America's greatest threat. He said Negro unity. And the only way we're going to have Negro unity is found in this Bible. And not under Christianity. It's the way the Bible is being taught today. That's the wisdom in the laws of God. Read that again.
Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good.
So the way that the Bible is being taught today, that we are the Israelites, that Christ is a black man, we got to come out of the Christian church. We got to keep the commandments of God. That's what's going to empower the black community, and that's what's going to bring unity to the black community.
Right. That was a cold precept right there.
Yeah, that was cold. Hey, but guess what? The Negro think economics is the cure. They think that's the solution. Jump back 2 chapters, 7 and 12. Going right back to the wisdom.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 12.
Read it out.
For wisdom is a defense.
So wisdom is a defense. Go ahead.
And money is a defense.
So economics is a defense too. Read.
But the excellency of knowledge.
So what makes knowledge excels money? What makes wisdom excel money is what?
Is that wisdom giveth life unto them that have it.
You can't buy your way into the kingdom. You understand? You got to practice what God say. You got to practice what God love. You understand? And use your money for that cause. That's the only way you can really use your money for any good on this earth. All right? So now, anybody got anything else?
Hey, we got to bring this out, officer. Real Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Just because he brought that precept out in Ecclesiastes 9. Deuteronomy 4 and 6 real quick. Because they say wisdom, What it say again? Wisdom. Wisdom is stronger than weapons of war. Right. Read that. Deuteronomy 4:6, real quick.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4.
Verse 5. Start at verse 5.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 5.
Read it out.
Behold, I have taught you statutes, even as the Lord my God commanded me,
right,
that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom.
This is our wisdom. This is that wisdom that it's talking about in Ecclesiastes 9. That's what's better than weapons of war. Why? Read.
And your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So this is what's going to make us who we supposed to be in the sight of the nations. This is what's going to tear this kingdom down. You understand? This is how the Lord is setting us in order in the sight of the nations through the wisdom, the law, statutes, and commandments. Read.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding
because
people.
Remember in Judith, they said it's as long as we keeping the commandments, our God gonna fight for us. They can't come up against us. You understand? So this is what's gonna sustain us. The law, statutes, and commandments of God. That's it.
All right. So with that being said, give me Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. All right. Through Esau building all these church houses. All right. So our people can go get indoctrinated to celebrate all these pagan holidays, all right, all these billions of dollars that they have spent to keep our people shiftless, docile, and misinformed of what's really going on and who they are as a people, all right. There's a bright side to this. Come on, read.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God.
So guess what? All those things that our people went through in history, when you come back to the love of God, which is keeping his commandments, is all going to work out. Is that it on that?
To them who are called according to his purpose.
To them that are called according to his purpose. And his purpose is for the Israelites to come out of the comforts of America, all right, and get uncomfortable and keep his commandments and stand up for your people. All right, with that, we say shalom.
We'll work with anybody and form coalition with anybody that has revolution on their mind. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. We want freedom by any means necessary. We want justice by any means necessary.
This is a revolution of God. This time that we're living in, the greatest time on earth, revolution. Spiritual and biblical revolution. All these lives will be shut down in the earth. He's strong in the Lord. He's life. He's life. He's life. He's life. He's life.
You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling.